Welcome, welcome, welcome to the How to Increase Your Google Review Rating in 90 Days or Less, even if you currently have negative reviews, dragging your rating down. And I'm excited that you're here. So let's get into it. I always tell my clients, it's not what you say about you, it's what others say about you. We have to keep in mind whether we ask or not, whether we invite our customers to review us or not, they will have opinions about our services. When we ask for reviews, we're placing ourselves in a position to guide that process. If you've never heard of Michelle Davis or Gemstone Consulting Services, I just want to take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Michelle Davis, and I'm the CEO of Gemstone Consulting Services, and I help business owners of small to medium-sized companies get more customers using automation and systems. And the reason I created this webinar was because I see the struggle when it comes to understanding how digital marketing works, really staying on top of your reputation, and being able to be competitive in the marketplace when you compare yourself to competitors. So I said, let me put together a webinar. Let me help you increase your Google ratings. And I'll share with you at the end how you can work with Gemstone Consulting Services to automate the process. But I'm also going to share with you how you can do this on your own. I'm going to present some options to you so you can walk away from this presentation today and have a game plan for how you're going to proceed and how you're going to increase your Google reviews in the next 90 days. So let's talk about why reviews matter. In today's world, it only takes a few seconds to learn everything we want to know about a product or company using tools like social media, Google, and other platforms. So it's up to us as business owners to determine what people find when they search for us or the services we offer. And we've gotten to the point where anyone can say anything about your business. And if we don't defend it, if we don't respond to it, we're letting what's said define who we are as business owners, and we let it define our company's reputation. So how do you assess your online reputation? Well, one of the things I ask my clients to do is to do what's called a SWOT analysis, which is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. A SWOT analysis is a really good tool and a really good process whenever you're thinking about making a major change in your business, whenever you're implementing something new, you always want to kind of map it out. I like the SWOT process because you get to identify all of the different areas that you need to consider when making a change, when implementing something new. So in this case, you're going to assess your online reputation. You're going to see, what are people saying about you and your business? Google and social media are going to be the best places for you to gather information about your online reputation. So the first part of the SWOT analysis process is to look at your strengths. So as you're searching online, you're going to say, what positive information appears about my business? You're going to look at reviews, testimonials, mentions. Just because someone doesn't notify you about what they said about you, good or bad, doesn't mean there isn't stuff floating around out there. So you just want to create a document, put the links of the reviews, the links of the testimonials mentioned so you can come back to those. What platforms or directories is your business listed on online? You want to make note of those links as well. Then you want to look at your weaknesses. And based on what you're seeing so far, will potential customers feel you are a trustworthy business based on what they find online? Are there any negative reviews or mentions that could harm your reputation? If there is, you want to grab the link so you can refer back to it later. You also want to look at, is there any inconsistencies in how your business is presented across the different platforms? You want to look at the name, the address, phone number, website, location, services. Are you showing up as having services ABC on one platform and maybe BCXY on another? Or maybe some of the services you provide aren't showing up at all. So you want to make sure that you make note of any inconsistencies. So right now, it may be tempting as you're going through this process to automatically feel you need to act on everything you discover. But keep in mind, you're gathering information because what you want to do is you want to create a plan for how you're going to address everything that you come up with. Because if you start reacting and you start responding in this moment, you won't get through the rest of the assessment. And keep in mind, just because you did not ask to be on a particular platform doesn't mean that your business won't show up on a platform because you have these directories that scrape the internet and they compile information based on what they find on the internet. Sometimes it's not accurate. So you just want to know what's out there. Then you want to think about your opportunities. What improvements can you make based on what you see? Do you have positive content that can be leveraged to enhance your online presence? Are you discovering things that you can use on social media, reviews or testimonials that you can place on your website? And which platforms should you focus on to increase reviews and online visibility? Maybe you have a ton of reviews on, let's say, Yelp, and they're positive. So maybe you don't want to focus on Yelp. Maybe you want to focus on Google, where you may have 3 reviews and they're not really that positive. As you're going through this process, think about where your focus should be. And finally, there's threats. Where do you rank in comparison to your competitors? How many reviews do you have versus how many reviews they have? What technology are they using versus what technology you're using? Do they have a chat bot on their website and you have nothing, no way to engage the website visitors you are getting? Is there damaging content that could deter potential customers from choosing your business? Are there online platforms where your business should be listed but isn't? So once you gather all this information, you want to map out a plan for how you plan to address everything. Then if there's negative reviews, one thing you want to say, okay, how bad are these reviews? I see a lot of reviews when I work with my clients. The person will give them a negative review for nonsense, right? I remember I was doing marketing for a company, a home inspection company, and the home inspection company provided phenomenal service, but the buyer, who's the person that hired the home inspection company, was angry because the home inspection company was talking to the seller's real estate agent who was present at the time of the inspection. So they gave them a 1. Is it bad that that person got a 1? Yes, because it's bringing your overall review rating down. But is that something that's going to deter potential customers from choosing your business? It's hard to say. I'm going to lean on the fact that it probably won't. People read through reviews, they kind of see, if they feel a sense of trust and comfort using a particular company. So it's hard to say, but you can have scathing reviews. Like, let's look at one now that the same company that I did the marketing for, the same home inspection company I did the marketing for, actually received. And I've blocked out some information just simply because of privacy reasons. I would never want anyone to feel any, like their flaws are on full display. But I want to highlight a few things. So let's go through this review. And this was a real review posted for a business. And for years, this review hurt that business. So it took them a long time, I would say about 2 to 3 years, to recover from this review. So let's look at it. So it starts out by naming the business owner by name. So they're saying this person is a complete fraud and his lack of knowledge cost me $8,000 when buying my new house. He inspected the boiler and said it was in good shape. The two other plumbing companies to look at it subsequently both told me he ripped me off or just didn't know what he was talking about. The pilot was leaking gas, the boiler combustion chamber was completely carbonized and or obstructed, and the chimney was blocked, among many issues that not only made it ineffective, but also super dangerous to ever turn on. When I emailed him about these issues, he wouldn't respond and just stuck some twerpy, sleazy lawyer on me. In conclusion, the business owner is a jerk and a dummy, which is not a good combo in an inspector. So if I saw this review, I would run. I would not do business with this company. I would say, oh my God, this is terrible. Even if the business owner had other reviews that were really good, this would cause me to pause because I'm like, okay, they not familiar with these things? Because you have to remember too, especially depending on your industry. In this case, this is a home inspector. Most people that hire a home inspector, and usually this is a buyer who's in the process of purchasing a home, they have no idea what a home inspector is supposed to check or not check. So when you lack knowledge about an industry, it could lead to issues and problems like it did in this case, because having done the marketing for the home inspection company, they're not licensed plumbers. They're not there to check if there is leaking gas. They're there to inspect what they see and what's visible to them at the time of the inspection. And they also issue a written report. So if they see issues of concern, they make recommendations for the person that hired them. Listen, if you move forward with the purchase of this property, I recommend you have a plumber come out. I recommend that you have, an electrician come out. We don't specialize in these areas. We recommend that you get a contractor that does and that they come out and inspect the property or inspect the electrical system or inspect, whatever it is. And then, the chimney, they're not chimney sweepers. So on face value, this review is pretty scathing. And here's the response that I helped the business owner prepare. The first thing you want to do when you're preparing to respond to a review is you want to research the situation. So in this case, we researched the situation, we pulled the customer report. That's why having a CRM is so important, is so you can look back on what happened with the particular client or customer. But we researched the customer and what their reported experience was at the time. In this case, it was the owner that conducted the inspection. But if it's not the owner, then you'd want to talk to whomever it is that did the service on your team, and you'd want to get that information before you respond. So here's what we came up with after researching the situation. So we were able to locate your 2018 home inspection report. I am sorry to hear you did not receive the level of services you expected. We provide home inspection services in accordance with the state of New York standards of practice for home inspection companies. As anyone can see from our online reviews, it is rare that we have an instance when a customer is unhappy with our work. So we take our customer reviews seriously. We pride ourselves on going to great lengths to not only provide outstanding services, but to quickly resolve any issues that may arise with our customers if we are aware of the problem. In general, we provide a detailed home inspection and offer an extensive home inspection report. It is our practice to include recommendations that a qualified, licensed professional fully evaluate boilers and other items we find not to be functioning at the time of our home inspection. We also display samples of our home inspection report on our website and then the website is listed. In the event that we have a customer that is not happy with our services, we do not hire an attorney at random to resolve issues. Rather, we refer customer service matters that we are unable to resolve to our insurance company for review and resolution. I am happy to schedule a time to speak with you by telephone if you would like to speak further about this matter. You can schedule an appointment to speak with me by calling, and of course, the phone number's there. Sincerely, business owner name, name of company, and that's it. Now, a couple of things I want to highlight. With this particular situation, you have someone who made a purchase. They purchased the service, they had the home inspector come out. The home inspector made recommendations, and after 2 years of them not taking action on the recommendation, they wrote a horrible review because they didn't take action on the things that needed repair, and they moved forward with the purchase. Those things ceased to function. Now, did my client hire an attorney to respond to this person? The answer is yes and no. They had an attorney that they normally work with that was on retainer respond. The attorney, unfortunately, didn't respond in the most professional manner. And so that just made the situation worse. The fact that the person that wrote the review included the information about the attorney shows that at some point she probably reached out to the business owner, even though he says he doesn't remember. She probably reached out to him. And so what she's writing about is her frustration with the business owner, warranted or not, and calling him names and insulting him. So when you're writing a response to a review, because if you have that opportunity as you're assessing your reputation, you want to see how, at least for the most recent negative reviews and also the positive ones, you want to start writing responses. You want to show people that you care what people think about your company, you care about your customers and what they think. And so you want to so you want to start writing out responses, and you want to keep in mind, you want to respond respectfully. And with this response, I detail everything that occurred without detailing everything that occurred. So sometimes it's the way you write things or the way you articulate things that rubs people the wrong way. So we highlighted that the home inspection was 2 years ago. We highlighted that, if you had contacted us, we would have resolved it for you. We highlighted that, if there's a recommendation to be made or if something's not functioning, we recommend that you get a professional to look at it and inspect it and repair it if necessary. So it's important for you to know what's floating around out in internet land about your business, about you, where people, name you specifically. Another place you'd want to check is the Better Business Bureau as well. You would have been notified, if that was the case, but you definitely want to check and see what's listed on there about your company. For all you know, you could have a F rating, even though you're not an active Better Business Bureau member. Figure out how are you going to manage this in the future? And you have 3 options to do that. The first option is you take what you learned from this presentation and you be more proactive about manually sending out review requests to your customers. If you're more of a establishment where people come to you, then you're probably not necessarily sending out emails, but maybe you display your QR code, especially to people that are still coming to you, your repeat customers. You want to capture that low-hanging fruit, right? Those people enjoy your service. And that isn't review gatekeeping because you're having conversations with your regular customers. It's review gatekeeping if you decide to hide that QR code when you get a customer that's unhappy that walks into your establishment, or if you only give your review link to the people you know are going to leave a positive review. So let's talk first about sending your review request manually and what that really means. And here's a sample of an email that you can send. You'd want to send an email and an SMS text message. Of course, if you're sending a text message, you would need to chop down this format and just send a quick blurb, asking the person for a review. Take a screenshot. You can take the exact language that you see here, or you can use the language as inspiration to come up with your own wording. Just make sure anywhere it says to insert something that you insert what you need to insert, whether it's inserting your particular niche or industry or service, your business name, your review link, and your business signature. And you always want to have a business signature at the bottom because that that enables your customer to easily identify that this email is from you. They get a lot of email messages and they may not recognize who this message is from and who they're supposed to review. So make sure you have an email signature and that lets them know. And so let's talk about some of the pros and cons of sending review requests manually. Okay, pros, it's free or low cost, right? Free, low cost. And when it's free or low cost, that means you can use your existing, let's say, email account. You can use your existing text message account. And you don't need any additional software because you're doing everything yourself manually. Now, cons, you need a system. If you feel like you can't, at this time in your business, you use one of the other options I'm going to share with you in a moment, then you definitely want to figure out, okay, when are you going to do these reviews? If you're doing it manually, when can you do these reviews? You can do it at the end of the day. You can do the reviews at the start of the day. When you send them all in bulk, sending review requests manually is time consuming. And that's because it's an additional task. It's one more thing you have to do. There's a high risk for inconsistency because it is time consuming and it's based on your availability. So if you're not available, then you're not going to be able to send those messages out. And you decide you go on vacation with your family. Are you going to be sitting there at the end of every business day while you're on vacation sending out review requests? Or, will you establish a system that maybe someone else can take over in your team and help you actually do? So it's up to you how you're going to handle that, but there's a high risk for inconsistency. It goes well in the beginning, and then next, 6 months later, you're right back to not doing it at all. Email is not always reliable. So you can send, that's why I always say send a text message and an email. And it depends on your business type too, whether manual makes sense. So if you're a restaurant, then the way you're bringing people into your establishment, you don't have access to their email, you don't have access to their text message. Maybe you're a gym, maybe you don't have all your members in a database. You should have them in a CRM, but maybe you don't. Those kind of high volume businesses, it's going to be hard to really monitor who came in that day. Who came in that day. And so it's going to be hard to really kind of ask for those reviews. But what you can do is you can display a QR code. I'll show you how you can get one. There's other resources, of course, but I'll show you, how you can get one using one of the systems I'm going to share with you. But, it's going to be challenging if you're doing this manually and you have a high volume business. And there's an increased likelihood of review gating. If you're manually sending out these messages, or for sure that someone's not going to be happy with you, how likely are you to still press that send button, whether you're sending these out via text message or email? And it's just a human response. If I know this person is super pissed, I'm probably going to skip them. So you don't want to put yourself at risk for review gating. So you got to be really careful. So that's option one, which is the manual option. Option two is to design or set up an automated system on your own to send review requests to customers immediately after a service is completed. So, sounds complicated, but let me show you how that's done. Okay, so I want to introduce you to reputation management software. This software isn't just for reputation management, it's also an all-in-one marketing system. The way it works is before you can send a review request is you first have to have the contact in the system. And there's two ways to do that. So you can do it here by clicking this lightning bolt and you add the contact and or you can send a review request, but you can only send a review request once the contact is in the system. You can also click this blue button and send the request this way as well. There is a CRM included, and so you can also bulk upload your customer list. If you're thinking like I don't have a customer list, I have a bunch of invoices and you don't have anything systematically put together, we can help you do that so that you can actually have all of your customers' information ready for upload into the system. Also, what's great about this system and the software that I'm using is Progretta. And we work with Progretta. They're our fulfillment partner for our automations and everything that we do on our business side. And we've worked with them for a while. We know that they have impeccable customer service. And so that is why Progretta is our fulfillment company. Now, this software also integrates with QuickBooks. So let's say you have everything set up on QuickBooks. We can get your QuickBooks integrated into the reputation management system and you can send reviews that way. You can also integrate the reputation management software using Zapier or webhooks. So let me bring your attention to the dashboard. So this is my demo account. And I'm just going to highlight the fact that this is the dashboard at any time, either on your desktop, laptop, or the app. Yes, this software has an app. You can see what reviews have been sent. Are people happy with you? Are they not happy with you? And what your star ratings have been. If you have requests, you can see them here. If you have reviews, you can see them here. But what I want to bring your attention to are the settings. If you choose to go with the software solution, this is where you're going to set up everything. And if you're wondering about like how, what if you can't set all of this up? Progretta actually has a support team. So when you sign on with the software, they actually get everything set up for you. Okay, so you would list the source here, and then this section is your auto responses. So here is where you're going to see the different ratings, and you're going to automatically generate replies. There's different ways you can configure this. You can have a wait time before you respond to the rating so that they know it's not an automated response or they feel it is an automated response. So rather they feel like it's not something you just threw together or something that's not personalized. The key to using, these automated responses efficiently and effectively is to use them in a way that helps people know that it's not something that's, where you don't care, you're just having automation do it. Okay, so you would set, whether this is, you want it to be 1 hour after the review, and you would set that here, whether it's minutes, hours. And then in the response footer, you can say, thank you once again for doing business with us. We appreciate we appreciate you choosing our company for your plumbing needs or your insurance needs, whoever you are. Or you can just say thank you. And then you would click save. And then here you would put, if you want review balancing, remember I said you could do 1 to 2. You can also put a custom link here as well. And the review balancing just means that sometimes people will get one link and sometimes people will get the other link. And like I said, if you focus on one, you're driving all your reviews to one, and then you build yourself up, you set a goal, and you move on to the next one. There's nothing wrong with balancing two, but you don't want to be balancing and juggling 3 or 4 review platforms. So to use the system, of course, your cell phone has to be A2P compliant. And so this is what here's some sample language that you could use, and you can see how it would be displayed here. You have to make sure you toggle the on button here so that you'll be able to get this set up. And like I said, Progretta has someone walk you through how to get this set up. Here is when you want to decide when you're going to send this text. So how soon after check-in? So maybe you don't want an hour, maybe you want 4 hours, or maybe you want to put something custom. And then the maximum retries. How many times are you going to retry? Because you don't want to harass people forever, about this review. So you can set it to 1 time, 2 times, or 3 times. And then you want to make sure you're clicking save. And then you move on to the email portion. You put the subject, you review the request behavior. Well, let's say here you decide how soon after they check in with you that you want to send out the review. I never suggest immediately, even though it's listed there, but you want to send it out and time it to go out right after the service. If it takes 1 hour to complete, 2 hours to complete, or 4 hours to complete, or maybe you want to do it the next day, you can set it to not repeat or to repeat like the same way as I showed you in the text message section. I'm not going to click on this right now, but here's where you would configure what this is going to say, how it's going to look. Now, you cannot necessarily, determine whether or not someone's going to have negative feedback with the system. What you could do is put another button in here. Feel free to reach out to us if you need additional support or, want to speak with us personally, need to resolve a problem, have questions, however you want to phrase it. You can put that below here and then put a red button for them to click and book time with you or, to reach out to your company. That way, if you have someone that's unhappy about your service, it won't 100% guarantee people won't leave a negative review, but at least you have an option for them to reach out to, if they have a question or if they just want to contact the company. You click save, and then here is where you get a QR code. So you would create your QR code. And the one thing I also want to say about the reviews, whether you work with us in the automation I'm going to show you, or you use Progretta, we don't charge per location. Okay. You're not charged per location. So you can send out as many reviews as you want. You can set up the system to work with as many of your locations as you want. And you can create as many QR codes as you want. And so that is the software system if you want to choose option 2. So that's option 2. You use a software to design your review request for you and to send those out. So let's talk about the pros and cons of sending review requests using our marketing software, and that's the software I just showed you. Well, the pros are you can automatically send your review requests. You get to set up the system with a marketing professional, so you get to ask them questions as you're getting everything set up and get the clarity you need to set up your system for success. You get an app that allows you to see your review dashboard, your reputation management dashboard, right from your phone. And so you see the reviews that are coming in anytime you like. You get full access to update and make changes as you see fit. Let's say you were previously sending out your review request next day, and you decided that you want to send those review requests out same day. You can make that change on your end. You don't have to set it, wait for customer support. You have full access and control, and you get implementation and technical support. So if you run into any issues, the technical support is 24/7 and they will help you through it. Now, the only con to using the software is you won't be alerted if a customer is unhappy. So if someone, is just unhappy, they'll get a review request and you won't be able to try and make things right before they sit down to write a review. But if you're looking for a way to get started, the marketing software allows you to get the process started and to not have to worry about manually sending out reviews. So let's talk about that third option. So option 3 is you partner with Gemstone Consulting Services to build out an automated system that'll help you quickly increase your Google reviews over the next 90 days or less. It doesn't mean that these options aren't good options for you to use. It really boils down to coming to terms with the reason you weren't requesting reviews in the first place. Okay, or coming to terms with where you are in your business and what resources you have within your business to manage your review requests. So, our automation allows you to send review requests using the automated system we developed. And our system is powered by the all-in-one marketing software I just shared with you. So you'll have the best of both worlds. You'll have the software that I demoed for you, as well as our automation. You may be thinking, well, why do I need the software if I'm going to set up automation? And the answer is simple. With any automation, you need a way to power it. You need something to run it off of. For example, you can't have a website without a hosting company, or you just can't have the cell phone and you don't have the cell phone service. It's the same thing with automation. And so let me show you how our Google review management automation works. So here's how we help you get more reviews. So remember I said you get the CRM included, or you can integrate your existing QuickBooks, or we would see what CRM you currently have. If you don't have one, we can help you get organized for an additional fee, of course, and get all of your customer names and phone numbers organized and in a spreadsheet so you can upload those contact names in bulk. And that will enable you to better market to people that are already doing business with you. For the automation to begin, you have to have a customer in the system. And when you have a customer in the system and you indicate in your CRM that the service is completed, then that's what triggers the automation. And the thing that sets this automation apart from anything I've shown you previously is we send out, all through automation, a feedback request to every customer. And the purpose of this feedback request is to see what they think about your service. So we send this out via email and text message. And the reason we send this out is we want them to rate their experience. We don't want them to rate their experience because we want to get you in trouble for review gatekeeping. That's not why we're asking. But we want them to rate their experience on a scale from 1 to 5. 1 being, I'm extremely unhappy. 5 being, I love your company. Now, in the event you have an unhappy customer, we're going to send you a text. Whether it's anyone that leaves a feedback of 4 or less, or 3 or less, depending on what we set up, you're going to get an alert right to your phone. It's an alert that's letting you know, hey, you have someone that just responded to your feedback request with a 1 or a 2 or a 3. Then, once you get that alert on your phone, that is your opportunity to reach out to the unhappy customer before they can leave a bad review. Now, this entire system and process is what sets us apart from just using the software as a standalone, whereas with automation, all of this automatically happens. Once it's set up, it automatically sends out the request, and you get alerted anytime anyone is unhappy. Now, will this 100% prevent someone from leaving you a negative review? The answer is no. The answer is no, but you'll have an opportunity to reach out to them and say, hey, we noticed that you weren't completely satisfied with our service. We're calling you to see how we can make things right. This opportunity is going to change the tone of your business, because you're telling your customers you care, for you to get on the phone right away with them and to make an attempt to make things right. This is going to mean the world to them. And for those customers that are completely satisfied, they automatically get a review sent to them. There's no need for you to intervene for anything or to call them unless you absolutely want to. And they get the review request sent via email and SMS text. And we even follow up for anyone that doesn't click the link to leave the review. So if they don't click the link, because that's our method of monitoring, if they don't click the link to leave you a review, we send them a follow-up reminder, and it's a one-time follow-up reminder. We can configure this to do it more than once, but that's something, if we're going to set this up for you, that's something we would talk about. If we were getting this set up for you, we can, do as many as 2 or 3. I wouldn't suggest any more than that, but the system can follow up via email and text if needed based on the frequency that we set up. So whether it's, follow up every 3 days, follow up every 2 weeks, we can decide what's best in terms of how you want to follow up. And we also do check-in and system tweaks those first 30 days. So the first 30 days is to get you set up on the system, and we have weekly check-in calls with you. This whole time is for us to check with you to see how everything's working. We want to look at your dashboard. And so you would share your screen with us. We look at your dashboard. We make sure everything is functioning the way it should. And we do this on a weekly basis for the first 30 days. And we do it every month after that. And this is available to you as long as you remain a customer or a subscriber of the software. And this system is rinse and repeat, and it's easy to edit, because any edits that you want to make, you'll make them yourself, and it's very easy to do so in the system. And then, of course, if you run into any problems, you have the 24-hour support of Progretta, which is the software fulfillment service that we build a system on. So, of course, I want to identify the pros and cons of sending review requests via our automation. And the pros are you get to gather real-time feedback. So you're sending that feedback request based on when that service ends, right at the time that it ends is when we recommend. And you're saying, hey, how did we do? And because you're getting that real-time feedback, you get to decrease the likelihood of having a negative review, because you're doing it before that person can sit down and form their thoughts or get logged onto their computer if they're truly that unhappy. You get the chance to reach out to them, and you get a chance to say, hey, how can I make this right and improve your customer experience? We want you to have a positive experience with our company. How can we make this right? The system is easy to edit. If you decide you want to start off with Google and you want to switch up later, you can do that really easily in the system. And having this whole process automated increases the likelihood of you being consistent. Manually trying to collect reviews and boost your reviews, it doesn't work unless you have someone that's dedicated, that's solely responsible for doing that. The way to go is automation, because you can get those feedback requests. You can see, how you did, and you're less likely to fall into compliance issues by review gatekeeping if you learn that someone is not happy. And there's no manual task to perform other than for you to review the dashboard and see what's happening with your reviews, and to respond to those unhappy customers when you get the cell phone alerts, and to see, how your reviews are growing. Do you want to change platforms? Do you want to leave things the same? So those are the manual tasks that you'll perform. And that's more of management and overview, as opposed to doing the actual review request yourself. And you get to segment those unhappy customers so that you don't market to them. If you run a sale, you don't communicate to them, because if someone's unhappy to the point that they leave a negative review and you've tried to make things right and they refused and didn't update the review, then those aren't people you want to ever do business with you again. And you get additional support. So you not only get the support of the Progretta software technical support team, but you get my support as well, and the support of my team, because if you have questions related to the automation, we can help you with that. If you get a negative review, we can help you think of what to say and how to respond to that review. If you choose us to build out your automation and you have reviews that you've never responded to, we can have a quick session, and we can share with you ways that you can respond to a review. The positive ones are easy. It's the negative ones. You want to make sure that you don't say the wrong thing, that you know what to do when those happen, and that you don't allow your emotions to take over and be reflected in your response. So we can certainly help you with that. As long as we've built out your automation, we provide that additional support. So what some may consider to be a con is we have a one-time setup fee to set up your automation. And so some people may feel like, oh, wow, but we provide a ton of value. You get real-time feedback. You decrease the likelihood of a negative review landing on one of your platforms, whether it's Google, Yelp, or any other platform. You get control of the system, so you get to make whatever changes you want to make. You don't have any manual tasks. Your goal is to oversee the operation of the system, and you get additional support. You get someone you can email and you can say, "Hey, I just got this review. How should I how should I respond to this?" And we'll get back to you about how to respond so that you don't let emotions get in the way. We do this as long as you remain a subscriber of the software. So again, you have three options. You can take what you learn and you can do everything manually, which would include sending out that initial feedback request, getting the replies, calling anyone that's unhappy with your service, monitoring if anyone left a review, because you wouldn't be able to monitor whether they click the link if you're doing it manually, and then following up with them. So that's an additional task that you'll definitely have to assign to someone. Can it be done? Yes. Is it easy to do? No, because it is probably the reason that you weren't gathering reviews in the first place. And option two is design an automated system on your own to send review requests to customers immediately after a service is completed. And I demoed for you how that can be done, so you saw how that works. Is software the way to go? Yes. Can you set up your system using just the Progretta software? Absolutely, you can. The benefit of option three, which is the automation that we build, is that you get that feedback request and you get the alerts. And it's a one-time setup fee because we build out the entire system for you. And it's a one-time setup fee. Plus, you get that additional support from us as long as you're a subscriber of the software to help you respond to any old negative reviews you have, to help you respond to any new negative reviews you have, or if you have questions regarding any changes you want to make to the software. We can help you with that as long as you're a subscriber of the software. And so that's the benefit of having us build out the automation for you is you get to decrease the likelihood of getting the negative review in the first place because you're reaching out to people, you're getting their feedback, you're still sending them the link. So you're not review gatekeeping. That's important to note. You're still sending them the link, but you're also opening the door and to make things right before they leave that review by getting that alert and telling you, hey, you need to call this person. And if you need assistance implementing everything you just learned in that presentation in your own business, just simply click the link in the description or take a screenshot and visit the link you see here on the screen. That is the first step to getting started. I just want to thank you for stopping by and tuning in to this video on my channel. And if you haven't already, just go ahead and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know every time I drop a new video.